All right, it's connecting. Good. Testing, testing. Tell me if you hear me, if you can. All right, let's see. It's connecting, okay. All right. Testing, testing, check, check. Testing, testing, check, check. Danitza, I'm waiting for your cue. Yes, you can hear me. Okay, cool. So should I start? All right. I think I'm going to get started then. Are we live? I think we're live on Facebook. We're checking YouTube. Hello, everyone. Welcome. We'll get started in just a second as long as we get confirmation that everything's working. Nice. All right, so I'm going to get going. Hello. Hello, everyone, and welcome. And I'm just going to have a big shout out to my marketing assistant, Danitza, who is in Mexico, and she is amazing, and she's helping me get this set up right now. So, Danny, thank you so much. And if you are listening to me, thank you for tuning in. I am Otis Landerholm. I'm the founding attorney here of Landerholm Immigration, A.P.C., where we fight for your American dream. And today, I'm going to be presenting on what plans, what hopes, what things do we think and can we expect to see in the new presidency, in the administration of Joe Biden with immigration law. All right? And so this is going to be a relatively short and sweet presentation. I want to explain a few things. For my main agenda, I want to do a little introduction. Obviously, Trump is on his way out, and Biden has won the election, which I am happy about. And so I want to do a little introduction. I want to talk about what Biden's plan is. I want to talk about what we expect next. And I want to give a conclusion and give an offer for everybody that's listening to me right now. Okay? So that's my game plan. Oh, and I see I need to make my talking head a little bit smaller so you can see what I'm doing better. All right. So thank you for being with me. Again, I'm Otis Landerholm. I'm the founding attorney here at Landerholm Immigration, A.P.C., where we fight for your American dream. I'm really, really happy to have you join me today, and we're going to be talking about Biden's immigration plan. All right? So welcome. Obviously, Trump is out and Biden is in. Okay? And in my opinion, and we'll talk about my opinion, we'll talk about politics, we'll talk about kind of where things are at. But in my opinion, Trump was one of the absolute worst presidents that the United States has ever had in terms of immigration law. All right? I'm not critiquing him on other areas of his policy, but in terms of immigration law, he was pretty awful. Okay? So, and it's not just his travel bans that he implemented in his first week in the office against people from Muslim majority countries. It's not just that he ended what was a very reasonable, intelligent system of quote-unquote prosecutorial discretion to allow DHS to decide which cases they were going to move forward on full throttle and which cases they were not going to prioritize for deportation. It's not just that he attempted to terminate TPS and DACA and did them arguably in violation of the law that has now been the subject of several lawsuits that are going on and have been going on for years. It's also not just his family separation at the border and detaining children. all right, in immigration detention centers, separated from their parents, even if they're young children, which is like, you know, human rights kind of atrocious reality that's been happening. It's also the dismantling of asylum protections, making people wait for hearings in Mexico, undoing a lot of the protections that is kind of fundamental to human rights and refugee rights and asylum and things like that. And also the public charge regulations that the Trump administration created, which have caused a much more difficult problem for anyone who's not super wealthy to apply for any green card. And more and more and more. We could go on and on about a lot of the very bad and very damaging policies that have come out of this last administration in terms of immigration, all right? And a lot of us working with immigrants have been it's just been like one disappointment after another seeing the new regulations and new proposals that have come out of this last administration. And so let me tell you, I am happy. Let me just say it. I am happy that we're going to be changing. All right. And I'm very grateful. Thanksgiving is next week for me. And it's like a time to be thankful. I am thankful that Trump is out and Biden is going to be coming in. All right. But let's look at what's Biden's plan. All right. So you can find this. And, to Joe Biden and his campaign's credit, his campaign has done a very thorough job articulating what their plan is. All right. And you can find it. If you go to joebiden.com/immigration, I think that's what it is. joebiden.com/immigration. You can get, it's like pages and pages and pages. And what I want to do right here is just give a quick bullet list of some of the main ticket items that you'd get if you read through all of that. Because it's a very thorough, and I'm grateful to his campaign for having done this, very thorough and well articulated, well thought out, in my opinion, plan on what he's going to do for immigration when he takes the Oval Office in January. Okay? So, among the large list that he articulates, he says that he will undo the family separation, the separation of children from their parents at the border for immigrants who are arriving to claim asylum. All right? He will undo, he says, right? He will undo Trump's asylum policies at the border and will undo many of the limits that have been imposed to many groups. For example, he's saying he will undo the restriction on quote-unquote domestic violence-based asylum, like people who are fleeing for their lives because they have a spouse or significant other who is horribly abusive and threatening to kill them and strangling them and doing nasty things. That should be a claim for asylum, all right? And it was before the Trump administration. And, anyway, so Biden will bring that back, as he should, all right? He's going to end, or his campaign says he will end and reverse Trump's public charge rules, which is great. It will make green cards more accessible, or, just normally accessible, as they always have been for years and years, for people who are married to U.S. citizens and who are otherwise eligible for green cards. Trump will stop spending dollars from the Department of Defense, from the military, all right, taking money away from the military to construct a wall, which is what the Trump administration has been doing now since he took office. And so Biden's going to put a stop to that, which I think is great. He's going to reinstitute DACA 100%, which is great. He's going to rescind and get rid of the Muslim travel bans, which is great. And we have a lot of clients I know that are watching this wondering about TPS, because there's a lot of uncertainty about what's happening with TPS, things like that. And he's going to order an immediate review of TPS and reinstate it depending on the situation in the various countries. All right? So those are just some of the bullet points. There's many others, and if you are curious about it, I encourage you to go and see for yourself joebiden.com/immigration, and you can really see what he is planning on doing in his first 100 days in office. All right, so that is the current Biden administration plan. All right, but it's important to understand. All right, he is not the president yet. So what can we expect kind of next? What can we expect right now? Well, right now, Trump is still in office. And so right now, there's not much that's happening legally right now, okay? And, the actual change in presidency happens on January 20th of 2021. But in the meantime, what we're going to be watching and what I'm going to be paying close attention to are the people, the key people that Biden is going to be selecting for his cabinet, for cabinet level positions, all right? And specifically for immigration, what I'm really looking at is who he selects for Attorney General, which right now we still don't know, all right? Because the Attorney General oversees all of the immigration courts throughout the country, along with all of the Department of Justice, right? So all of the U.S. attorneys' offices, things like that throughout the country, but including the immigration courts. So that's a very key immigration position. Also, we're going to be looking at who he appoints as the Secretary of Homeland Security, because the Department of Homeland Security oversees ICE, Customs and Border Patrol, and USCIS. And so we want to know who the Secretary of Homeland Security is, because that role is incredibly important for how they really define the culture within all of U.S. immigration and the attitude within all of U.S. immigration, and the attitude change from the Obama administration to the Trump administration was night and day. And hopefully, hopefully the night is ending, and now the daylight's going to come back up again, and we're going to see the light, and we're going to have a better attitude, a better pro-immigration attitude inside of all of the Department of Homeland Security. Because heck, I know Mr. Trump and his loyal followers might disagree with this statement, but in my opinion, immigration makes America better. So let's change our attitude about immigration, and let's encourage more of it. And let's appoint a Secretary of Homeland Security that gets that and who's willing to process applications to allow immigrants to come in. All right. And then the third cabinet level position that I'm really curious and watching, and we're hoping that that changes the attitude also, is the Secretary of State. Because remember, the Secretary of State oversees all of the U.S. consulates in all of the countries around the world. And so the Secretary of State is key for maintaining good, positive international relations. So we want to pay attention to who he's going to put in power in each of those areas to help implement the policies that he wants to implement. All right? So the other thing that I've got to say, and yes, I got to say it, I am grateful. It's Thanksgiving, right? I am grateful and thankful that Joe Biden won the presidency, and everything that he's proposed in his 100-day plan is just talk at this stage. It's, politicians have historically said stuff, and once they're in the office, something else happens. And I really want to continue to push and continue to hold accountable and be ready to say to the Biden administration that, look, this is what you've said that you're going to do within the first 100 days in the office. So now let's make sure you do it. All right? Because, you and me will all remember various candidates that, hey, once they're in power, it's like the situation changes and you don't necessarily perform on everything that you said you were going to do. All right? And so we'll be watching that, and we want to make sure that that happens, and we want to keep pushing for that. Because, hey, if we believe in a nation that welcomes people, if we believe in a nation that is pro-immigrant, that is a quote-unquote melting pot for people from all over the world, we've got to be a stand to make sure that our country is creating that and our government is standing behind that. So good. All right, that's good. The other thing that I want to make clear is nothing that can possibly be done by the president and the president alone can include a full-on change in the law. All right? And a lot of people, we get calls to our office like, oh, is there going to be immigration reform? Is there going to be a new law that gets passed? We all hope so. And in my opinion, I believe that Biden wants that also. And there are proposals. There are great proposals. All right? And there are proposals to increase the numbers of U visas that get adjudicated every year, which would be great. There are proposals for new types of green card applications. And so there are proposals for immigration reform and for full-on immigration reform. And I really hope that those get adjudicated. But remember, though, immigration reform is not just up to a president. It is up, you need both sides of Congress to take it seriously and to pass it through the House and the Senate. All right? And so, if we've got any senators or representatives watching me right now, hey, pay attention. Our country needs immigration reform. Our country's laws have been broken. And we need to fix a very, very broken and dysfunctional immigration system so that some future, President Trump or some future president who does not get immigration and who goes completely against immigration, a president has to enforce the laws that Congress passes. And so Congress, get your act together and pass a bill, pass a proposal to really create systemic change. All right, and without that, the president really can do what he can do and can change the attitude of U.S. immigration enforcement and things like that, but they can't just give people status. There's no way to fix 11 million people that are still in the shadows in this country without Congress acting. And so act, Congress. Let's do it. Let's do this. All right, that's all I got today. My conclusion, right now it's all plans and it's all talk so far, all right? But the new president hasn't come into power yet, so let's give him a shot. But hey, if you're an immigrant and if you're watching me right now, first of all, thank you for watching me, all right? And if you have a case, or if you might have a case, the time to start thinking about your case is not after January when Biden gets elected. The time to start thinking and acting and being smart about your case is when? Is right now. There is no time like the present, all right? The future is never guaranteed, and even if Biden were to take office today, there's no new law that's going to get passed tomorrow. These are processes. And so if you are thinking of applying for a green card, if you are thinking of applying for citizenship, if you are thinking of requesting asylum, don't wait for Biden to take the office. Start acting now. Start building the case now. All right? After January, lots of people are going to be filing immigration cases. I promise you, that is going to happen. And I want you to get ahead of the surge. I want you to get ahead of the line. And so let's do this. All right? So how do we do this and what's our offer? All right. We are going to offer a legal consultation, which is like my director of legal services and either me or one of my attorneys in that consultation to get you top quality legal advice. We normally charge $95 for that appointment. I'm going to give you a copy of my book. I've written a book on how to defend and to win your case in immigration court. All right? I'll give you a copy of today's presentation. And as always in our office, your consultation comes with a 100% satisfaction guarantee. If you aren't 100% satisfied for any reason, no questions asked, you get all your money back. All of that for a super Thanksgiving discount of 50% off the cost. I think we're charging $45 for the consult and the book and today's presentation. All you got to do is you've got to pick up the phone, contact our office. You see our number right here. All right. Call now, 510-574-7377. Let them know that you saw us today on YouTube or on Facebook and claim your super Thanksgiving discount, and we'll be happy to get your consultation booked. All right? So that's it. Thank you so much. If you have questions, please let me know your questions. Let me see if I can access that. There might be a way for me to do that here. And, I'll end the call in just like a few minutes here. I don't really see any questions. It might still be loading. But hey, thank you so much for being with me. If you do have additional questions, you've got our phone number right there, 510-574-7377. We're here to help. And, I'm really, really grateful, not just to have a new president coming in January, but, I'm grateful that the coronavirus pandemic seems to be winding down a little bit. We'll have vaccines out. And I'm grateful that you, whoever you are, is with me right here, right now. So thank you for being with me. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. I hope you have a very happy Thanksgiving and month of November. Please give us a call if we can help you. And yeah, best of luck. All right, thanks a lot. I'm Otis Landerholm, Landerholm Immigration, A.P.C., where we fight for your American dream. Thank you. Bye-bye.